Welcome back, everybody. Who is happy with our USMNT performance last night? Not too many people that I've talked to, not too many people that I've seen on social media, okay? The critics are out, and rightfully so. We've had two dismal performances, very little creativity, very little offense against the Swiss and against Honduras yesterday. Two okay opponents. I don't know if we could put Honduras in a what tier of world football. The Swiss, people are talking about like if it's Brazil, it's the Swiss, no big deal. But yes, we were inferior on that day. Last night, we were, I think, the better team. But it took an 89th minute winner from Sibachu. It took suffering. I was dying thinking we're going to PKs. I was dying at the thought that we weren't going to play the final against Mexico. That's a whole different story. We'll touch on Mexico briefly at the end. I want to open up with identity, okay? Because I'm hearing a lot of hammering about, it's not working, having this possession-based system, having Jackson Yu at the 6, we don't have Tyler Adams, it all falls apart. Listen, guys, bottom line, I want to talk about our identity. We were talked about that we finally have a staff in place, somebody that has a vision, somebody that wants to implement their vision, and this stuff doesn't happen overnight. I'm not coming to their defense. I'm not making excuses for them. The reality is there is a process to this, okay? We all had this false sense of a reality not too long ago when we're smashing 6 goals past El Salvador and we're killing Jamaica and we're killing Panama. And listen, I came on camera and I told everybody we're playing minnows. There are levels to this at the international level. And we saw a different level against the Swiss. The excuse was, hey, listen, it's a team, very veteran group. They've been together for many years. Our guys are tired. Our guys have had very little time to work together. All that goes out the window, guys. Listen, that's another topic I want to talk about later. CONCACAF, scheduling. We're always the ones that get screwed, okay? But if we focus on the reality now, the reality is we've had 3 relevant opponents in the last, calendar in the last year or so. Wales at Wales. Wow, world power. No, they play their scrubs against us. 0-0. No dangerous opportunities, no creativity on the field. It took a 75th minute shot or 70th minute, or we got our first shot on goal. But that day we were raving, oh, what a midfield. We got Eunice, we got Adams, we got Weston. This is the dream team now. And I kind of calmed things down and said, hey guys, why are we so excited when we have zero creativity on the field? Okay, double standards. That was the Wales game. Now we have these 2 in recent memory, okay, where we had Jackson Ewell, Sebi Lletget, and Weston McKennie. No creativity, okay? Jackson Ewell is sold to us as this regista, Andrea Pirlo, that's going to distribute and play, make it out of the back. Well, under a little bit of pressure with okay opponents and okay collective systems against them, we've seen 0, and the critics are out, okay? Yes, Jackson Ewell is a solid player. He looks good with all the time and space that's afforded here domestically in MLS, because the reality is that is the biggest difference in world football at the club level with MLS and the European leagues is time and space. Here, you're afforded tons of it, okay? So the players look like world beaters, but there are levels to this. This is a lot different when you play the international game, and we have seen that. We've seen 0 from Jackson Ewell. Sebi, I've talked about Sebi. I love Sebi. I would have both Jackson and Sebi on my team if I was an MLS head coach. But we're not talking about the MLS. We're not talking about this domestically. We're talking about the international level, and we're talking about what I've always said, graduating to the next level. They simply don't have anything to offer. Sebi's a simple connector. He's not going to beat you off the dribble. He's not going to pick a pass. Yes, he's had finishes against Jamaica and El Salvador. Great for Sebi. But we're talking top level now. He scored this little accidental goal the other day against the Swiss. Congratulations. We are not graduating with Sebi Lletget on the field. We are not creating. Okay? And I've gone on record in episodes talking about our best player, Christian Pulisic, recent Champions League winner. He didn't get the ball. And when he gets the ball, he's too far from goal, and he has to slalom through too many. He can't do it all. Gio didn't get the ball enough, doesn't get in dangerous areas. This is our problem, guys. When we played relevant opponents, look at our record. 0-0 against Wales, 1-2 loss against the Swiss, and an 89th minute winner yesterday. That's just not good enough, and that's the reality at this moment in time, okay? Analyzing the reality. Let's see. I got a couple notes here. I'm gonna compare. I'm gonna compare because we have our double standards. All right. Nobody better than I. Nobody said one word when this Nations League roster came out. Nobody criticized the lack of creativity. That hasn't been a central theme at all. But when it was the Olympic team, when it was Christ, when it was all that, People went crazy before the tournament, and then obviously with the result in hand, went crazy after the tournament. No creativity. It's the same player profiles, guys. Those guys had Jackson Ewell, the same one that's playing right now. They had Johnny Cardoso, destroyer. They had Perea, destroyer. They had Georgi Mihailovic. They had Hassani Dotson, destroyer. They had Tanner Tesman, the world beater, the FIFA Player of the Year candidate. Everybody's raving about the best 6 in our country. No, and then we got slapped, okay? Much the same is happening now, but nobody said anything. We are missing our best midfielder, 100% Tyler Adams. It is a problem not having him there, okay? What he does is unique. What he does is Conte-esque. His closing down, his ball winning, his leadership is missed. That's a reality, okay? But we knew we weren't going to have Tyler Adams. Jackson Ewell has failed. Sebi Lletget is an average Joe when it comes to the international level. Weston McKennie hasn't even been Weston McKennie in these 2 games, okay? I don't know if he's destroyed, fatigued, injured, altitude. I don't know what's affected some of our players, but they're not at their best form. Am I missing anybody? Kellen Acosta. What is Kellen Acosta going to do at the international level to graduate us, like I've been talking about, whatever, in the year and a half that I've been doing these videos? Not much. Nothing to say, okay? So the double standard is bothering me. That's the reality. We have zero creativity. What did we create yesterday off individual brilliance from Gio Reyna or Christian Pulisic? Collectively, those guys don't get the ball in good areas. Serginho Dest, not a midfielder, but Serginho Dest, I've openly been a fanboy for a long time, but I've openly criticized him in recent times in his terrible form he's had in Barcelona. And in these 2 games, he's a 0. He offers 0. He's in jog mode. He's cruising. He's casual. And I'm almost worried about this guy, he's perceiving that he has no competition. Reggie Cannon ain't competition for him, okay? DeAndre Yedlin's not competition for him. I'm an FC Barcelona player. Well, he's not bringing that to the table, okay? He's not leading by example. He's not doing what I said he should do. He's taking the piss, but not by doing 360s and step-overs lately. He's taking the piss by just jogging in the park, chilling, and doing nothing and being very casual about his approach. That is a big problem that we need to eradicate now with Serginho and with the rest of our guys, because I've heard that common theme as well. We've been casual these last couple of games. How is that? There's 2 schools of thought when it comes to this, and I'm going to share mine. The European school of thought, where friendlies are treated as such. Well, it's no big deal. It's a friendly. And the public feels that way, the fans feel that way, the players feel that way, the coaches feel that way. They don't take it as serious as they do when it's Euro Cup or when it's World Cup or when it's World Cup qualifying. And that's fine. That's a cultural thing. In South America, when you put on the jersey, be it for Brazil, Argentina, or even the second tier, Colombia, Chile, Uruguay, it is world war. The country shuts down and you have to win. If you're playing against Armenia or Japan or Northern Ireland, it doesn't matter. When you put on the kit, you better give 110% effort or you're not getting called back up or you're not playing anymore. And it doesn't matter what your name is. Okay? That's what we need to see here. That's what Greg said in the press conference. And I like what Greg said. There are no friendlies for us. We always want W's. We always want to win. We always want to compete. Okay, so I've gone on an epic rant. Obviously, I'm not happy about our performances. I'm not going to dissect our performances. I'm telling you that we don't have time to work. Okay, and this happens every year at the club level when we get smacked by the Mexican teams in, Champions League, CONCACAF Champions League. Our calendar always affects us. Our calendar always kills us. We're in preseason form, the other guys aren't. Well, when it comes to our national team, guys, I'm putting on my coaching hat again. It does hurt to not have the group together and work extensively with your top guys. We've just had a pandemic. The ideal thing is to get the group together and be together for a month for the Euro Cup like the European teams are doing, for the Copa America and qualifiers like the South American teams are doing. They're locked in together 5 weeks. What are we doing? We had this great little camp in Switzerland, great, to prepare for the altitude and the travel, great. Now we have a couple days training here, great. Terrible performances in both games collectively. And now we have our dream final against Mexico. And then what? Then our top guys go on break and then they head back to their clubs. So guess what? When things aren't panning out in World Cup qualifying, it's going to be the same old, same old. We don't have the group together. And it's the truth. It's an excuse, but it is the truth. Why did CONCACAF do this to us? Why, knowing ahead of time what is going on? I think U.S. Soccer and the Mexican Soccer Federation, which I don't care about, they must have some say. They must have some power. Why don't those guys run their Gold Cup tournament from early June to the early July, and then the players could go on break and go back to the European clubs. What is it with this Nations League? What is it with any single competition or friendly or excuses that we can't have our team together for 5 weeks to work? That is a big fucking problem, guys. And that is something that every year comes up on the club level, and now it's affecting the national team level. Again, we're going to qualify. No concerns there, okay? Sunday, it's a 50-50 toss-up. Let's talk about Sunday. We don't have Tyler Adams, our key cogpiece in midfield. We don't have Aaron Long. Who cares about Aaron Long? We'll talk about McKenzie. We'll talk about Miazza. We'll talk about all our other candidates. Those are the two players we're missing from our top lineup. Mexico doesn't have Raul Jimenez, their match-winning guy. Mexico doesn't have El Tecatito. Yeah, he's called up, he's rostered, he's there, but he's not ready to play just like Tyler Adams isn't ready to play. And they're struggling too, okay? They're struggling without their best guys. So Sunday is a coin flip. Sunday, it's a one-goal game either way. Neither team's in their best form. I pray to God that it's us that gets the W for morale, for confidence, for everything that it brings along, for the internal competition, for our direct competition with Mexico, for fighting for dual nationals, for all that it means. We must win on Sunday. Will we? I do not know. Our lineup, our changes. Brian, you just went on this rant about our lack of creativity. What do you do given the roster? Well, it's simple. In my opinion, it's simple. Gio plays as the 10. Gio plays as the 10 in detriment of Sebi Lletget, I guess. That's it. That's a short-term solution, okay? There's not much that can be done at this point in time. But we need more creators and less destroyers. That is the central theme. More creators, less destroyers. Gio could take you off the dribble. Gio could pick a pass. Gio could hit a banger. Sebi can't. People are talking about Musa. Guys, Musa played very good in those friendlies, okay? Very good in terms of driving the game forward. Very composed, very mature. If Musa plays and he's not in his best form, that's why he's not playing. Didn't finish it off good in Valencia. Didn't look great the other day in the friendly. The coaches must see something that we're not seeing. Musa's not ready. You want Musa thrust in? He will get annihilated by the Mexican midfield on Sunday. He would get annihilated. Point blank. Musa is a very good player. He's up and coming. He's got a lot of time to develop, a lot of time to grow. I'm glad we got him. But he's not the solution. Kellen Acosta's not the solution. So we are going to struggle on Sunday. Can we win? Yes. It's going to take brilliance from Christian. It's going to take brilliance from Gio. We're going to have to take our chances and punish. We're going to have to be good on set-piece offense and find a goal somewhere, because it's not going to come from creative play. We're not going to collectively have a miracle. It's going to come from an individual play or a set-piece, and we got to hold on for dear life. Mexico, the same thing. All right? Mexico, I just told you, they're missing their two key guys. They're going to probably line up with Antuna and El Chucky on the wings. It's going to be tough. They're going to pin our guys back. It's going to be very difficult to get attack out of Serginho Dest. I won't even talk about Anthony Robinson, okay? 46 minute pretty much sums up everything that I've ever said. This guy has no business being on the field representing our senior team if we're going to be an attacking style, possession-based team. Zero business being on the field, okay? Brooks and McKenzie. Brooks, I've said, he's the lock starter. He's the guy. McKenzie, listen, he's got a long way to go, but he's young. I'll give you that. He's had experience given to him, which probably wouldn't have been if we had our other guy available in Aaron Long, and he's done fine. Chris Richards is the guy. For me, we don't have Chris Richards. It's going to have to be McKenzie. We'll see how he does. I don't think we'll struggle much because there is no Raul Jimenez. So it doesn't matter if Henry plays. It doesn't matter who, unless they play the false nine with Chucky Lozano, which I doubt they will do. Okay, in midfield, it's going to be the intriguing matchup, which I think we're going to come in second best. It'll be Edson Alvarez, who will likely play a central midfielder. He won't drop in the line of three like he did in the semifinal. He will have Andres Guardado. He will have HH, Hector Herrera. And I think that's where we will be bossed, and we will ultimately lose the game yet again. The central theme of this episode, our midfield cannot match up, doesn't have the creativity. And muscle, it's a collective game, guys. Muscle doesn't win you games. One-on-one matchups don't win you games. Oh, let's out physical then. It's a matchup game. It's not a matchup game. Collectively, Mexico is superior. Technically, they are superior. Tactically, they are superior. And I think we're really going to struggle in midfield to do anything. Again, Mexico's back row, susceptible. Okay, they don't have pace. I think Christian could do massive damage. I think Sargent, people are knocking Sargent. He worked his ass off defensively in terms of our pressing. He was in good spots to get tapping goals. Christian didn't see him or didn't want to see him. Gio didn't see him or didn't want to see him. And the guy saved our asses from potentially losing the game on the goal line clearance. So I think Sargent will get the start again. Sibachu, the little I've seen of him, I like. But we don't have a world-class 9. That's another episode that we discussed earlier in the season with Andrew May. So, guys, ultimately, that is it. The prediction, it's a 1-goal game. Light your candles. I hope it's for us. I don't think it's going to be that way. And heck, what really, really bothers me at this point in time, seeing what's happened in the last 2 games, seeing what's happened when we played an okay opponent in Wales, we don't have the midfield creativity. We need to find it, okay, because it's there. It needs to be nurtured, needs to be given opportunities, needs to be prioritized. Less destroyers, more creative players to assist our top players, okay? And moving forward, guys, I'm devastated that CONCACAF puts this tournament where we could have had our best players together for a month in a time where it's not possible because the European clubs won't allow it. We have our best players in Europe. This doesn't affect Mexico. This doesn't affect Canada. Yeah, sure, they don't have Alphonso Davies and Jonathan David. They missed 2 guys. This affects 90% of our roster. This kills in terms of growing and getting the collective team and the tactics better geared in World Cup qualifying, better geared towards the World Cup. Because guess what, guys? Even when you bring them in for World Cup qualifying, you have 1 or 2 sessions, you have a game, you have recovery, you have 1 session, you have a game, you have recovery, you have a session, you have a game. There's no time to work. This summer is a key summer. All the European teams are getting the time that they want, 1 month with their top players. All the South American teams are getting 5 weeks together with their top players. And we're having 10 days and ultimately getting a reality test, a dose of reality. The Swiss gave it to us. Honduras gave us a partial taste. And Mexico is going to give it to us on Sunday. Guys, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I wasn't too much of a negative Nancy. This is it. I'm real. This is real talk. You get nothing else from me. And let's see what our boys can do come Sunday. Let's put on the red, white, and blue. Let's support. But let's have realism and let's see it with realistic eyes. I'm losing my train of thought here. I hope I made sense. I didn't just babble. It's hard when I can't bounce my ideas off a co-host. I'm not live on TV. I have to have my notes. But we're improving. We're getting there, guys. I'm going to break it all down after the final Sunday. Hopefully we've lifted the cup.